Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi barakatuh. Inshallah, today we are going to continue reading Surat Al-Mulk, and we are going to be with ayah number 3, inshallah. We start Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wa bis-salah ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let's start and have a look at ayah number 3, inshallah. Okay. Now, ayah number 3 starts with the word that we already talked about, which is alladhi. Okay, so here we have Hamzatul Wasli. We are going to read Hamzatul Wasli in this case. Why? Because we are starting our reading with Hamzatul Wasli. So we pronounce it a. And this Hamzatul Wasli is this form is the definition form in the Arabic language, which is the boy, the book, the, okay? So here, al, and this is how it's pronounced. Hamza fatha, lam sukun. So it's alladhi. 2 counts here because of the ya. And why are we pronouncing it? Because we are starting our reading with Hamzatul Wasli, and it always comes with a sukoon letter after it. And be careful, don't stay at the lam shadda for longer time than it requires. Allah, alladhi. And then here we have khalaqa. This is an elevated kha and an elevated qaf, but the lam is not. So we say khalaqa. Do not use the lips as a helping aid to elevate the letter. We do not need the lips. It has no role in elevating those letters. It's kha from the nearest part of the throat, and then after it comes the qaf from the further most part of the tongue. Khalaqa. Sab'a. Here we have qalqala with the ba, and I write the letter Q just representing qalqala, okay? We have a fatha sin and we have a fatha ayn, and then we have the ba sukoon in the middle. So when you are reading, just be careful not to put a fatha on the ba. So it becomes sab'a ba. So don't part your jaw a little bit further. It becomes a fatha. You see, when we part our jaw a little bit, it's a fatha, and then more, it's an alif. Sab'a. But in the qalqala of the ba, the lips, just the lips part, okay? And it sounds like this. Sab'a, sab'a, sab'a. And then we have sama, alif 2 counts, and alif 2 counts. So it's samawati. But we have a tanween here. The second kasra is the noon sound, noon sukoon sound. And as we mentioned before, the first kasra, we read it, and then the rule is regarding the second kasra, which represents the noon. And with the ta, it's ikhfa. We're going to hide this noon sound in the ta. As we mentioned before, we have to go to the ta exit so that the noon hides behind it. So what do? We say samawati tibaqa. Is the ta one of the letters of hams? Does it have a whispering sound? No. Remember last time we said the letters of hams are gathered in fahathahu shakhsun sakat. this sentence does not have the ta. It does not include the ta. So it doesn't have air. The ta kasra does, but the ta does not. So we say سماوات طباقا طباقا. 2 counts for the alif and 2 counts for, instead of the tanween with a fathatain, we have 2 counts also. We don't stop on a sukoon qaf. No, we stop on a sukoon alif. طباقا. And the ta is elevated, so the ghunna of the ikhfa is also going to be elevated, and the qaf also is elevated. And then we have ma, 2 counts. Mad the alif. What do we have here? A shadda. Why is this shadda? Why do we have a shadda here? Because of it's not ikhfa, it's idgham. Okay? We're gonna take it. Just let me finish this and we are going to go to the noon sukoon rules and take it quickly. So, just we are going to remember together the noon sukoon, the idgham. So here, طباقا ما, 2 counts غنة. It's a mim shadda. ما ترى, the ra is elevated. Is the ta elevated? No. So it's ترى. 2 counts for the alif. Want you to have a look. Why is this alif? There's an alif written on a ya. So what do? We pronounce it an alif. Okay? And notice this alif written. Is this after the meme or above the meme? It's after the meme. So we pronounce the meme fatha, then the alif. Sama. Wa. Same thing here. This alif is after the wa. Fi. We have 2 counts for the mad. Khalqi. Same word, but with different movements. Okay? Even the qaf kasra is going to be elevated, but the lam is not elevated. So it's khalqi. We are going to connect the qaf kasra with the ra shadda. What happened to the hamzatul wasli? It's cancelled. What happened to the lam? It's cancelled. Why? Because we have 2 sukoon, the lam sukoon and the ra shadda has a sukoon. And in our reading, we cannot read 2 consecutive sukoon after each other if we are continuing our reading. Okay? So what do? We cancel, in this case, we cancel the pronunciation of the first sukoon, which in this case is the lam. So we say في خلق الرا, قرا. Okay, because we have a ra shadda with a fatha. So this ra is elevated. في خلق الرح. Rah. The ha has a sukoon, so it has 2 characters that we have to take care of and apply. You know, each letter requires from us to give it, to grant it its characters, because we are the ones who are pronouncing these letters. So we have to know that the ha has 2 characters. One of them is hams. It's the whispering sound. And the other one is rakhawa. Rakhawa is the softness. You know, this is the translation, but it is, rakhawa means that the letter, when it's sukoon, it's going to run in its exit. So we say rah, rah. Okay? في خلق الرحمن. رحماني. 2 counts for the ألف صغيرة, the small ألف. رحماني من. Apply the kasra of the noon and the kasra of the mim. رحماني مي. And then we have a noon sukoon coming after it a ta. What is this rule? This rule is ikhfa. And the ikhfa letter, it won't be having a shadda. There's no shadda for the ikhfa letters, but there is a ghunna at all times. What do? The same thing we mentioned regarding ikhfa with the ta, ikhfa with the qaf last time. And here, ikhfa with the ta. Is the ta an elevated letter? No. So the ghunna will be elevated? No. It's gonna be lowered. What do? After pronouncing the mim kasra, I go immediately to the exit of the ta to hide the noon behind it. So we are going to say min ta. Again, min ta. I wanted to listen to the sound of both ghunnas, with the ta, for example, and with the ta, because the ta and the ta, they differ, that one is elevated and one is lowered. One has hams and the other does not. Okay, so let's read this one. سماوات طباقا. And let's read this one. من تفاوت. Okay, so this ghunna is lowered and this ghunna is elevated according to the letter of ikhfa. Here we have 2 counts for the alif, and we say tafa, fa, wut. We have a waw dhamma. Many students get this wrong. So just consider the waw dhamma. Woo, tafawut. And then we have a hamza, a ta. We are going to stop on the ta here. So it's going to be hams. There's going to be a whispering sound with the ta. The ta sukoon and the kaf sukoon, if we stop on them, if we pronounce them with a sukoon, then there is a whispering sound. And listen to it. Tafawut, wut. Just a slight whispering sound. And don't pronounce it immediately. Don't say would. Otherwise, it will sound like the qalqala. But what do is we close the makhraj and then we go and pronounce the hams, the whispering sound. And again, please refer to the articulation and characteristics course that is available for free recordings on the YouTube channel. If you are watching this video from the YouTube channel, please go to the playlist and listen. We have all those characteristics and articulations in details, inshallah. So we are going to stop here because we have this stopping sign here. And we are going to say min tafawut. And then فارجع البصر. Hamzatul wasli is not going to be pronounced because it's in the middle of my pronunciation, and as we mentioned, the ra sukoon comes after. There's always a sukoon letter after Hamzatul wasli. What about this ra? Is it elevated or what is it? Yes, it is. It's a sukoon ra, but we have a look at the letter that comes before it, which is the fa fatha. So it's going to be pronounced elevated. Farji'il, il. We cancel the pronunciation of Hamzatul wasli here, and the lam sukoon has bayniyya in between. فارجعي البصر. The ba is not elevated, okay? It's lowered. If you have any confusion regarding the sound, how am I going to pronounce this word? Separate it. Pronounce the ba on its own, pronounce the sad on its own, and pronounce the ra on its own. All have a fatha. Ba, sa, ra. And then connect them together. Al-basara. Okay? فارجعي البصر. So now we have the sad elevated and the ra also elevated. And then hal. Don't get the ha from the chest. Don't say hal. Can you hear this sound? Ha. It's not like this. The ha is from the furthermost part of the throat. So it's ha, hal. And again we have tara, 2 counts for the alif. And again we have mim kasra, nun sukoon, and after it the letter fa. The letter fa is one of the letters of ikhfa. We're going to hide the nun behind the fa. So I have to go to the exit of the letter fa. Where is the exit of the letter fa? I use the upper 2 teeth against the inner part of the lower lip, this wet part. F. Just try it. We pronounce the fa sukoon, the letter we pronounce it in sukoon to know where the exit is. So say F. The upper 2 teeth slide inside, touching the lower lip from the inside, the wet part. Okay, so now we have a nun sukoon. We need to hide it with the fa. So what do? We go to the exit of the fa and pronounce the ghunna of the noon. Min futur. The ta is elevated and the ra also is elevated. So we say min fu. The fa is not elevated. So be careful. Don't say min fu. No, it's min futur. Okay? If I'm going to connect the ra with the letter after it, it's going to be lowered. Why? Because it has a kasra. I don't know the letter that comes after it now, but I'm sure that there is a kasra under the ra, so it's going to be lowered. Okay, what is the story of these 4 words that I have here? Those 4 words that I have here shows how am I going to pronounce this alif. If the alif is written on top of the waw, or after, or before, then there is a difference in pronouncing it. So let's have a look at each word. Here I have the alif just above the waw. So this means this word is not going to be pronounced with a waw. It's going to be pronounced with an alif. So we say as-salata. What about this one? The alif is after the meme. So I'm going to pronounce the meme and I'm going to pronounce the alif. What about this one? The alif is after the letter waw. It's written after it. So I'm going to pronounce the letter waw and the letter alif after it. So it's going to be samawat. Okay? I was going to read it samawatin, but because I stopped, maybe I just stop on a tasukun. So it's going to be samawat. Okay. And then here, what about the alif? The alif comes after the meme. So I'm going to pronounce the meme and pronounce the alif after it. So it's Ar-Rahman. What about this one? The alif is written after the fa. What about the waw? It's going to be pronounced normally, and the alif is going to be pronounced normally after the fa. Tafawut. So what is the idea here? The idea is if the alif is written above the waw or above the ya like this one, we are going to pronounce it an alif. But otherwise, if it's after the waw like in this case, or before the waw and after the fa in this case, we are going to pronounce it alif. Okay? Very good. Now, let us... Today, I think the time is over. So, inshallah, we are going to take the other rule, which is the noon. We are going to postpone it till next time. And I would like to thank you very much for your attention and your following up on the channel. I hope, inshallah, you find these recordings of benefit to you. And please, if you need any help, just let me know by writing me a comment, and I'll try my best to answer it as soon as possible. Thank you so much for sharing this with others so that we spread the knowledge, and I'll see you in the coming recording, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.